Most people believe their emotions define them. If they feel anxious, they think they are anxious. If they feel sad, they think they are broken. If they feel angry, they think they are powerful. But emotions are not identity. Emotions are weather, passing systems of energy moving through the mind and body. And like weather, they change whether you want them to or not. The Stoics understood this deeply. They never trusted emotional weather to guide life decisions. They respected emotions as signals, but they did not worship them as truth. They knew a storm does not mean the sky is ruined. It simply means clouds are passing. Modern psychology confirms this. Feelings are temporary neurochemical events. They rise, peak, fade. Yet most people build their lives around chasing pleasant emotions and escaping unpleasant ones. And in doing so, they become servants of emotional weather. The calm person lives differently. They build an inner climate instead of chasing emotional weather. Climate is deeper than weather. Climate is the baseline condition, the underlying stability that remains even when storms pass overhead. A person with inner climate may feel sadness, but they do not collapse. They may feel fear, but they do not freeze. They may feel anger, but they do not burn. The feeling moves through. The person remains steady. This is emotional maturity. Most emotional suffering comes not from the feeling itself, but from the story built around it. I will always feel this way. This means something is wrong with me. This means my life is ruined. These stories fuse identity with temporary weather. The Stoics cut that fusion. They said, do not add opinion to impression. The first feeling is nature. The added story is choice. You cannot stop weather from forming, but you can stop building houses inside storms. This is why emotional regulation is not suppression. Suppression traps energy. Regulation allows movement without takeover. The Stoics never tried to eliminate emotion. They trained to avoid emotional tyranny. When a feeling arises, the undisciplined mind becomes it. The disciplined mind witnesses it. The witnessing creates space. Space creates stability. This stability is what we call inner climate. A stable inner climate is built through repeated awareness. Noticing breath when upset. Noticing tension when afraid. Noticing thoughts when sad. These small acts tell the nervous system we are safe even when emotions move. Over time, the brain learns not to panic when feelings arise. Emotional resilience grows. Modern trauma therapy uses the same principle. Safe observation of internal experience rewires fear circuits. The Stoics practiced this naturally through daily reflection and mindful presence. Emotional weather also includes positive feelings, joy, excitement, passion. These too are weather. When you cling to them, you suffer when they fade. The Stoic enjoys pleasant emotions fully but does not demand their permanence. They say thank you when joy visits and farewell when it leaves. This prevents emotional addiction. Many people chase happiness like a drug. But happiness, like weather, is temporary. Those who build inner climate experience something deeper than happiness. They experience contentment, quiet well-being, stable peace. This is why Stoicism feels calm, not ecstatic. It aims for steady flame, not fireworks. Emotional weather is influenced by sleep, food, hormones, environment, stress, memories, music, news, and interactions. Most of it is not under direct control, but your response to it is always under your control. This is where power lives. When you wake up in a low mood, the reactive person believes the day is ruined. The regulated person notices the mood, adjusts expectations, and continues their path. Mood does not dictate destiny. When conflict arises, the reactive person escalates. The regulated person grounds. They breathe. They speak slower. They feel the wave without being swept. This is inner climate in action. The Stoics trained negative visualization, imagining loss, difficulty, criticism, not to be pessimistic, but to teach the nervous system that even strong emotions are survivable. When real hardship came, their body already knew how to stay stable. This is emotional inoculation. Modern people avoid discomfort, avoid difficult feelings, avoid silence, avoid boredom, avoid grief, avoid confrontation. But avoidance teaches the brain that emotions are dangerous. And what the brain marks as dangerous becomes trauma. The Stoic did the opposite. They approached emotion consciously, sat with it, watched it, learned from it. And in doing so, emotions lost their terror. This is the heart of inner climate building. Emotional resilience is not toughness. It is fluidity, the ability to feel fully without drowning, to care deeply without breaking, to love without clinging, to lose without collapsing. This is why the Stoics could face exile, illness, betrayal, and death with dignity. They were not emotionless. They were emotionally trained. A person with inner climate is rare today. In a world of impulsive reactions and emotional broadcasting, calm presence feels powerful. Others lean on it. Trust it. Follow it. This is why emotional mastery is leadership mastery. You do not need to control others. You only need to control your own inner state. That alone changes every room you enter. Inner climate also improves physical health. Chronic emotional volatility stresses the body. Hormones spike. Immunity drops. Inflammation rises. Calm regulation protects the body. Long life and emotional mastery are deeply connected. This is why ancient philosophies always linked virtue and health. A steady mind supports a steady body. The path to inner climate begins simply. Notice what you feel. Name it. Breathe. Allow it. Stay present. Repeat. Not once. Daily. Slowly. Naturally. No force. No suppression. No drama. Just awareness. Over time, storms pass faster. Waves feel smaller. Calm returns sooner. And eventually, calm becomes home. This is the work. Not flashy, not viral, not dramatic, but permanent. In part 2, we enter emotional climate in relationships, emotional climate under stress, emotional climate and trauma healing, emotional climate and leadership, emotional climate as lifelong stability. Inner climate becomes most visible in relationships. Anyone can appear calm alone. But real emotional mastery is revealed when another human being brings pressure, criticism, disappointment, misunderstanding, betrayal, love, attachment, need. The untrained person merges emotional weather with the other person's behavior. They rise and fall together. The trained person holds their own climate steady while allowing space for the other's storm to pass. This is the difference between reaction and response. Reaction is automatic weather collision. Response is chosen climate stability. When someone speaks sharply, the reactive mind spikes. The steady mind notices the spike, breathes once, and answers from clarity. That single pause is the difference between broken relationships and strong ones. The Stoics called this ruling the inner citadel. No one else is allowed to invade your internal state without permission. Words can enter, events can enter, but control remains yours. Modern psychology calls this emotional boundary formation. Same wisdom, different language. A person with inner climate does not need to win every argument. They do not need to prove every point. They do not collapse when misunderstood. They stand in quiet steadiness. And paradoxically, this makes their words carry more weight when they finally speak. In love, inner climate prevents emotional dependency. Many relationships fail not from lack of love but from lack of emotional autonomy. When one person's weather controls both people's sky, the relationship becomes unstable. Two inner climates create harmony. Two emotional weathers create chaos. This is why self-regulation is not selfish. It is relational responsibility. Stress reveals inner climate faster than comfort ever could. Under deadlines, illness, financial pressure, uncertainty, loss, the emotional weather becomes intense. Panic, fear, hopelessness, rage. The untrained mind believes the storm. The trained mind remembers the sky. The Stoics trained for this daily, morning intention, evening reflection, premeditation of adversity. They rehearsed storms in the mind so real storms felt familiar. This is why they wrote in journals. They were building emotional muscle. Modern neuroscience confirms it. Visualization and reflective awareness build neural pathways for stability. The brain learns safety through repeated calm attention. Emotional training is biological training. Trauma healing follows the same law. Trauma is not just memory. It is emotional weather frozen in time. The body re-experiences storms as if they are present. Healing comes not from erasing the storm but from creating inner climate strong enough to allow the storm to move again. This is why presence heals. Not force. Not suppression. Presence. When you sit with a difficult feeling without fleeing, the nervous system updates. It learns that survival is possible. Over time, what once controlled you becomes simply weather passing through. Leadership is impossible without inner climate. A leader who panics spreads panic. A leader who rages spreads fear. A leader who collapses spreads despair. But a leader who remains centered becomes an anchor. People trust anchors. Follow anchors. Lean on anchors. This is why the Stoic Emperor Marcus Aurelius was respected even in plague and war. Not because he controlled events, but because he controlled himself. The same applies in modern life, at work, in family, in crisis, in community. The calmest nervous system in the room becomes the regulator for everyone else. This is biological. Emotional states synchronize socially. When you build inner climate, you quietly heal environments around you. This is silent power. Inner climate also protects against manipulation. Many people are controlled by others because their emotional weather is easy to trigger. Flattery, insults, guilt, fear. The Stoics warned against this. If another person can control your emotional weather, they control you. Freedom begins when your emotional state belongs to you alone. This does not mean coldness. It means sovereignty. A sovereign mind feels compassion without drowning, love without losing itself, commitment without fear, strength without cruelty. This is the emotional maturity most people never reach, not because it is impossible, but because no one teaches them how. Now you know. Your emotions are weather. You are the sky. Your inner climate is your true home. Storms will come. Storms will pass. The sky remains. This is not philosophy for comfort. This is training for life. Begin small. Notice. Breathe. Stay. One storm at a time. And slowly, quietly, steadily, you become calm that cannot be shaken.